Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're doing another episode of Take My Money, where we're going to be looking at, I think, 6 projects today, and they're all Kickstarter projects.
Yes, yeah. Last time we had, I think it was like 4 of 5 or 3 of 4 were game found projects, but Kickstarter has hit back. It strikes back with the full
It
slate
does.
this week.
It does. And I believe, I'm trying to remember, I don't think last week there were any like insanely high uh,
No,
projects that we looked at, but this week there's actually a few that
yeah.
actually surprised me a little bit, I think, including this first one that we're looking at here, Botany Flower Hunting in the Victorian Era. Experience the thrill of the hunt in Botany, the ultimate Victorian flower collecting game for 1 to 5 botanists. Well, I'm not a botanist, so
You
I guess
cannot
we
play this game.
have to just
That's the
skip this
next one.
one. Can't
Yeah,
buy this one.
yeah.
But this one kind of surprises me because it's almost got 10,000 backers. Still got, I don't know, I'm sure it
Yes.
will hit 10,000
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's still got a week to go and it's at $662,000, almost out of a $5,000 goal.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But I feel like these kind of types of themes, not really mainstream or sci-fi or fantasy, have gotten a lot more popular the last few years. And kind of with this Victorian era gives feelings of obsession.
Hmm.
So I think that could be helping this one a little bit. I'm definitely more interested in this because of obsession, just for the look and style of it. And nature as well has gotten quite popular as of late, but
Hmm.
still, that is more than I would have expected from this kind of project.
Yeah, for sure. This one, I don't remember what we all looked at last week, but this might be bigger than all of them, which I thought we looked at some that I thought could have been bigger.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it is insane. I mean, 10,000 is a lot of backers. I
yep,
mean, even if you're not just looking at the money aspect of it. So yeah, a lot of people are liking the look of it. I like the look of it as well. But at the same time, I'm not sure. It doesn't really. I think the thing that shocks me the most about it is it doesn't really look like, oh, it's got some new hook that really sets it apart.
yeah. It just kind of sounds like you. I mean, I'm sure there's clever things in there,
Hmm.
mixed in there, like with every game, but overall, just kind of going out and gathering these resources or gathering these different plants, which doesn't feel that groundbreaking.
Right.
Feels
It kind
similar
of makes
to
me
a
think of
lot of things.
like a trekking
Yeah,
game
especially
or
when you
like
have
a
that world map there, which is, I mean,
right
just the Pandemic series has about 7 of
pandemic
those.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Makes me think of both of those just right off the bat. So um
I
yeah,
like
and
the
just
artwork
kind of the
in all of
I,
these.
I like that artwork as well. And that part kind of makes me think of, considering it's kind of different cards and stuff, it makes me think a little bit of Wingspan.
Yep, yep,
But at the same time, I'm like, well, I've got Wingspan and I really like Wingspan, but I don't know that this game plays like Wingspan. Um, but yeah, just the routes like that makes me think
yep,
that, and the theme makes me think that it's maybe not an extremely heavy game, so it makes me think,
yep,
oh, it could be kind of similar to,
yep,
yeah, those pandemic style game
yeah,
or a trekking the world type game.
yep, yeah. It says they're simple to learn, which I mean, I'm a fan of that. Uh,
Hmm.
but I think that could also hurt it when it is something um, like on Kickstarter. You really would like something that feels unique, or at least I do. I look for different things to add to the collection. We have a very little space on our shelves, so we're always looking for something different. And
Hmm.
while something can be great and familiar, it's also is a little less intriguing then.
Hmm. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'd have to show this to Michaela. Maybe she would think it looks really interesting. 'Cause I know she probably likes that kind of setting and world, but I don't know. I don't know what she thinks about actual like plants and stuff, that part of it. But I mean, it's got the other pieces here too, and
Yeah.
people. So it
Yep.
does have really nice artwork. I really do like the
Yeah,
whole
for sure.
feel and the vibe of the game, but I just don't know. I feel like no, and this is the first created, which it's awesome that they're able to have so much success. But hopefully that means, if it is successful and when people get it, they'll probably, hopefully give it high praises and stuff. And then I would think then it would hopefully be available after the fact, if
Yeah,
that is the case, and
I
then
would hope so.
could potentially get it later on.
It's done pretty well. I feel like this one's going to be pretty talked about, or I think it's going to
Mhm.
be talked about quite a bit when it does eventually deliver.
Mhm.
I think this one's going to be
I
pretty
would
high
agree.
on the hotness, but I mean, I could be wrong about that. But I do, like you said, I get kind of wingspan feels from this. I think
Mhm.
it'll have a little it factor like that.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, so pledge levels $39 for the regular botany here, and then with the expansions, $75. And if you want to get the expansions and metal coins, which why not go on those metal coins? That will be $99, which I think that's going to be kind of then multiple boxes here. That will be the all-in pledge, which I like that there's just one version, looks like, of the
Mhm.
base game. That's there's no deluxe add-ons other than those metal coins. So
Mhm.
I like that, and still coming in. I mean, not I was going to say under $100. It's right at $100. That's pretty good, but I don't know if it feels like that big of a game to me.
Right. Yeah.
Plus,
So yeah, the 39 price probably
yeah,
wouldn't be too bad. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know.
yep,
Hopefully that means though that you hopefully you don't actually need the expansions to feel like you get the full experience.
yeah,
If people do go for that, I don't know. I didn't look at kind of the backers as to what they were doing. Oh,
yeah.
VIP special. Oh, you got to get it now. Limited 9
Ooh,
left of the $39. I didn't even realize that.
it
So
might
get
have.
on that. By the time this video comes out, I don't know that that'll be left. So
Yeah.
then it'll be up to $55,
Oh,
right?
yes. Yep. Looks like it.
So
Which is
sadly, we're filming this 2 days in advance, so I'm guessing that one will be gone for any of those people that would want
Prestige
that.
then. Okay. Just wondering
For
why some would back, 49 people would back this one over that. I'm not understanding this, but I understand with this one off at all. I'm not
and
sure.
that one's got 10 left. Maybe
2,700
I
backs
suppose
there.
what could have potentially happened is it could have been backed, and then some people changed their level or backed out of it.
Oh, yep, yep. That
So
could.
then maybe other people have started backing the other ones, and that could be it.
Yep.
That they were
Yeah.
kind of fully. So
Yep.
yeah, then I guess it makes more sense, right? Pepper, if you and maybe I gotta check out with Michaela to see if she wants it at 39 because yeah, it looks like it jumps up to what 55 there. So
Yeah, yeah. So I would bring Michaela in on this. Go wake her up right now and ask her to back or not to back. Just a simple
well, I
yes or
am
no.
not a. I didn't see the metal coins before, but now I wonder if those could be used in Obsession
Oh,
because I know there were like these metal coins that people recommended, but they've been out of stock. But at the same time, I thought, and now I couldn't find it. I thought, uh, what is it, Kayenta Games or however you pronounce it, one that made Obsession. I thought they said they were going to do release some metal coins themselves at some point here, but I don't remember when they said that. So, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure this will be for some people out there. It
yeah,
looks good enough, but
yeah.
um,
March 2024. Uh, Probably doable, I would say, but it is first created, so not sure. I'm not sure the people behind it exactly what they worked with before
mhm,
with this publisher first Kickstarter.
yep. We know who what these ones worked on before. They made it very clear um, for Leviathan Wilds, a solo and co-op boss battling game about climbing massive creatures from the designer of Imperial Assault.
Yes. Did you figure
And
it
then
out yet? What else they design?
and then I think if you go down, it says they worked for Z-Man Games
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and X Fantasy Flight Games. So two bigger companies for sure. I think
Moo.
who are they both owned by Asmodee now? I don't know if both of them are or not.
It might be.
I
Yeah.
think Z-Man is, but I don't remember if Fantasy Flight is. Maybe I'm just making that up. Maybe neither of them are. But yeah,
Gonna get
so I
some
think later
complaints.
on they say they worked on like all these games and stuff. So, but anyway, yeah. So this one is Boss Battler,
Yeah.
where you're actually like it's a spiral notebook that's kind of the monsters. And you can kind of change the pages to battle the different monsters, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Which the climbing on the monsters, it feels like you never heard of that. And then I heard of it once, and now I feel like I've seen like 3 or 4 other games where you fight and crawl on the monsters and target individual body parts. And I'm like, that's just seems like such a unique concept that has now just been in more and more games.
Mhm.
Seems like every month or so I see a new one, and I'm like, okay, I haven't actually played any of these games with this yet, but I am
Yeah,
interested.
yeah, that is part of it. And then when you really kind of think about it, it's really just a map grid.
Yeah,
Um, like from I mean, you could make me think of, I'm blanking on it, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion,
yeah,
or I'm sure there's a lot of games I'm sure that use a map system in a spiral notebook, but
yeah,
that's kind of what it is. And then essentially the artwork just as a creature versus
yeah.
kind of land
Yep. But it
area.
helps with the theme.
It
Um,
does, and it
um,
looks like the artwork is pretty cool.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
really like the
so
artwork here.
yeah.
But yeah, in this one, you're actually trying to, it says boss battler, but you're trying to um, cure these Leviathans who have lost their mind or whatever they say and explain. So now you're trying to cure them so they aren't so mean.
Yes. And you're shuffle building your deck.
Yes, so I think you choose a whatever a character and a class or something like that. 8 characters, 7 classes. You kind of combine those, choose one of each, which I like. Anything where you can kind of get like half of one thing and half of another to kind of create a unique gameplay. So that
Hmm.
had me very interested as well.
Hmm.
And just moving around, just the thematic idea of crawling around a monster is really cool to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I do think this one actually does look pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I feel like this one could maybe be one that's released later on as well. Yeah, see, they
Yeah.
worked on all these different games. Um, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I like the screen printed meeples.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm, Yeah, and I think the artwork on the spiral bound thing looks good. I think that'll probably work pretty well. Um, and yeah, I just like the idea that it's a cooperative one as well.
Yeah, yeah, and
But
yeah, solo or co-op. I mean, that also has me quite interested. Probably, I guess we split discount price right here, $59. Tokens. So that is. So yes, you get those tokens in there as well. Not a bad price. I mean, it doesn't feel like a big game.
I
So
would agree.
I think that's probably about as good as you're going to get for a Kickstarter. I mean, there are obviously cheaper ones, but
The $39 one that we just looked at.
yes, that's as good as you can get.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I think this one looks like it's probably going to be pretty good. Um, but yeah, I think this is another one where, like you said, our shelves are pretty full, and I don't know if it quite looks like there's something in it that really is like, oh, that sounds really cool. Um, it just kind of, to me at least, sounds like hmm, if I had the opportunity to play it, I probably would. But I
yeah,
I don't know that I would go
yeah.
out and
I'm
back it on
probably
Kickstarter.
more interested. Probably wouldn't back the Kickstarter, but I could see myself just see a good deal on Miniature Market or something. I could see myself picking this one up.
Hmm.
Um,
That's fair.
dollar shipping US, but yeah, it looks like it's just that core pledge is the only one there is, so you're getting kind of that as
I
deluxe
do
as
like
it's going to
that.
get pledge,
I
which
do like
is
that the
always
first two
great.
we've looked at here are not like, I mean, the other one's selling expansions and stuff, which
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of getting a little burnt out on the games that have 5 expansions with them when the
Yeah,
game hasn't even been out before. So you don't really
yeah,
know how good it is. So I do
yeah,
like that when they kind of just have the base to start off with, and if this is a big hit, I'm sure they can create another spiral bound thing with
yeah,
a second set of monsters and stuff, and maybe some new rule, a little bit of tweaking, maybe some rules or something.
yeah, yep,
So yeah,
yeah.
yeah, looks interesting, but I don't think I would personally back it. Um,
So from
but I mean, I
best,
suppose I might back one of those other two over this. I've just got some hesitations.
Well, that was rescuing these giant monsters, and this one is just battling, hunting, and killing the bosses. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the board game, which is based on a video game, I believe, and also
Probably.
kind of a standalone sequel to another,
Yeah.
what is it? Another Monster Hunter board game, which has an 8.1 on BGG.
Yes,
Hunting
and
massive monsters.
I believe that just delivered.
Okay, okay.
So I don't know how many people have actually gotten to play that one yet. But yeah,
Yeah.
this one is another one that's 1.35 million, 8,000 back. How much was I don't now I don't remember if we checked for Leviathan. How much was that at?
I think Leviathan was 153,000,
Another I mean
2,900
for what
backers.
it is, I'm like, I mean it seems like a lot, but I mean it's not that it looks bad, but it's another one
How
that
many
I think is
backers
doing
are here?
pretty
So
well.
this actually has more backers than this.
Not by
It has
much, which is
twice. Yeah, but obviously a little
crazy
more
when you look at the
expensive.
prices.
So twice as much. This is actually funded, but of course it is a gigantic game, as you can see by these haven't even
Oh, that
finished the
exists.
cards here. It's quite
Hmm.
gigantic boxes.
Yes, and this is Steamforge Games. So I would just say, be careful if you're backing this one because I think they have three or four projects still outstanding, and I think they're all really big projects. So I think that this
Yeah.
is something to note with I think Mythic Games recently, um, kind of asking for more money and stuff. Just when you get into the millions of dollar figures on all your projects and you're not quite getting them up as quickly as maybe you'd like to, this
Yeah.
could
Yep.
cause some issues. So
Yep.
just something to note.
Yep.
But yeah, this one, I think their minis look great. Um,
Yes.
I was
Those
very
do look very
they. This is the company I think that did the RuneScape game,
good.
um, and I was very much going to maybe back that or get that. I never ended up doing that, but um, yeah, from that one, I had really good looking minis. This one has really good looking minis, but yeah, it looks like a lot of content for sure.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, this is core box only, 81, which is pretty good, I think, for
Mhm.
this type of game. Oh my gosh, over 750 cards. Maybe the most cards in any game we would own, possibly. Um, but yeah, it looks like it has some pretty gigantic monsters to fight. But of course, they
Yeah,
tend to with
slashing
the
those prices.
look at it, it's slashed. 4 claw marks to it, not 3, not 2, 4. 161 bucks. That's double right there for the core box plus absolute power. Do you want absolute
Look at
power?
this free, $110 free.
Look at that, free. Where else? They're just giving that to you. They're not making that money up anywhere else.
Yeah, this is I think this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say some of the expansions and stuff. It's like
Yeah,
I'm sure this would be all really cool and stuff. But if I had endless amount of hours to play games and stuff, I'm sure this would be a great game. And if you could put hours into it,
yeah,
um,
yep,
yeah, 1,250 cards. I mean, you just get these games get to be just so much that it's just tough to think of. Okay, how many hours am I going to have to put into uh, kind of I don't know, get the most out of the game.
yeah. That's true. But yeah, so the core of the game, you hunt down these monsters and you battle them. And you're successful. You get different cards to kind of then upgrade your characters, which I love doing that.
Mhm.
Playing Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion is the most experience I have with that. And it's great to just get more and more powerful as it goes. And I think in this one, you get to choose which monsters you go after. I think you have a certain amount of days in a campaign. You can kind of choose to go after the same monster, and maybe it's more advanced form, like to get, I guess, go maybe more down those kind of tech trees of upgrades, maybe to like just fully get everything from that monster or whatever, or can go out and branch out and choose other different ones to hunt down. Not sure exactly how it works, but that sounded cool to not just have a set Here's scenario 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
where you actually have some choice in it.
Yeah. And I think that's where it makes me wish, like, like a lot of these look really, really cool, including this one. When I first saw it, it was one of those names that hit me. I'm like, oh yes, I want to
Monster
try this
Hunter.
one. Well, I think it was like kind of the cover and the mixture of it.
Oh,
It's kind of like, this seems cool. Living in Minnesota, you get the kind of the
yes, yes.
frostiness. Um, you live in the fantasy that you already live in. Um, but no, I feel like some of the, if it had like a Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion type version where it was kind of a smaller
Yeah,
version of it, a little bit more approachable, I think that could really help it. I mean, it probably
yeah,
make me more willing to get it. It's
yeah,
just, you see this big, yeah, like you said, 750 cards, and it gets very intimidating very
yeah,
quickly. But a
yeah.
lot of it looks so good that it's like, still tempting.
Oh, look at those big monsters. Big monsters to fight, Zach.
I know all these ones that
All of
just
those
they look
cards.
good.
I like these cards kind of breaking down the different monsters. That's an interesting look to it. I like it.
Oh, mhm.
I don't know why. Just I like it. And ooh, here's $110 of free stuff, which I don't know exactly what role they play, but I kind of like these cute little animal companions. And a monster,
They're the most deadly of
and
all.
a cute little companion there, monster, and then the cutest. Oh my goodness! Where is just the get this
Oh
many?
boy, get that many to put in other games.
Yes, that is maybe the cutest mini I've ever seen. Look at that face.
It's a pretty good looking mini.
And then some vicious monsters. More. But yeah, 6 or 81 boxes. It does look like it comes with a lot in it. So if it does deliver, I think that's a pretty good price, pretty good
Mhm.
deal. Um, Obviously,
Yeah,
it's
I think you're
also a
getting a
good
lot of
game.
content.
Um,
Right. Yeah,
um,
it really comes down to if it's a great game or not.
yeah, you can play the demo on Tabletopia. Like I've said, and I'll say again, I've had a hard time logging into Tabletopia. I've kind of quit trying. Just a nightmare. But maybe I'll get back to try some of these games out. Got
Mhm.
some coverage, certainly. Shipping, where is the shipping? Way down here. Look at all this stuff.
They want to hide it so much, probably.
I got $200. Not too bad.
Yeah,
Over
not awful.
20
But 30,
euros.
40 bucks, probably 40, $50.
Yep.
But
So, like you can probably tell, probably not gonna back this one, but definitely
mhm.
another very interesting one. Um,
Yeah,
I do like that kind of cold, icy theme in
mhm.
games.
I agree.
And now this is the most Zach description of a game I've ever heard. Gear up for an expert level engine building game. Simultaneous. Wait, no, maybe that's not the one. No, no, the next one. Next one had the most Zach. So
Oh boy,
that's a teaser. The next one has the most Zach. I thought it was this
you got
one.
to stay tuned.
Yes, stay
You've
tuned.
made it this far.
But this is Raising Robots, which is still
This
pretty
isn't too
Zach.
far off of Zach.
No, the expert level, especially.
You don't think it's the engine
Most.
building?
No, no, it's expert level.
I love simultaneous play too,
Yes,
but
yes.
not the biggest fan of robots, so
Mm-hmm.
not quite fully Zach. But yeah,
Yeah,
this is another one. I mean, 2,200 isn't bad, and then 152,000. It's just crazy to me because what was it? Recently we did like Nova Roma or whatever, which is Stan Kradowski, and that one made like 60,000. And I'm like,
yeah,
that looked pretty good. And I mean, I think they're obviously different games and stuff,
yeah.
but I mean that was a Euro game too. I'm just like, why does that one do
I mean, yeah, because
like not amazing, but not horrible either?
he has
But
some
then and then you
really
have some
popular games.
right.
I don't.
I
It's
guess I don't
hard
know.
to
Maybe these
understand
people have
exactly.
them. I don't know
Yeah,
those names. I guess.
I don't know either. At least they could have some great things. I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is designing robots for expert level players, which is a little terrifying, I will say. because I'm like, oh, that's a cute theme, adorable robots. But when they like, oh, 'cause I think it says here somewhere like a little warning, like this is not for anyone under any kids under 14 years
Oh
old.
yeah,
It's
I
for
saw
expert
that.
level. And I was like, oh boy, they're making it very clear. You have to
Yeah, I
be able
wonder.
to to play
And then
this.
I was wondering if they were saying that just because it looks like an approachable theme, or if they're saying
Maybe.
it because it is that crunchy.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's just like
guess.
they know it's crunchier than like the average game that would maybe look like this.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe. But I do really like the look of this game, even though it looks like all kinds of different crunchy things. I do like the look of all of it. It's a good messy, I think.
mhm.
Very colorful, great wooden components here. Uh, let's see.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't
it's
know. I don't know
similar.
that I love the look of it. I think it looks fine,
Yeah,
but I think it does sound like it could be one that I would really like. I do. I have really found myself really enjoying kind of the tableau games that have just a bunch of cards and stuff that you're
yeah,
kind of activating and doing cool things and scoring points in different ways and stuff. And it looks like that's kind of maybe what this one will have as well.
yep.
So
But
I
yeah,
could
I
see
think
it
it.
being something I really like.
Yeah, it has that roll for the galaxy, race for the
Oh,
galaxy mechanism where you're kind of
Ares
choosing
Expedition,
the
right?
Ares expedition
Terraforming
mechanism.
Mars.
Yeah,
It was never
yes,
done before.
never, ever, ever. But yeah, that's a mechanism that I like quite a bit.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know, as much as this should intimidate
Warning,
players,
expert
it's,
level.
it's just very satisfying filling out your board. I assume that's a player board. Um,
Mhm. That
just
was-
getting all of those, I assume, very unique ability cards, trying to get them to work together. Um, seems very satisfying for me. Scary as well, being expert level, but a theme that might get me to play this one if you are very interested in it.
mm.
Ooh, $49 for retail edition, which I believe that does not have the wooden tokens. Might be cardboard, possibly. Not sure.
I don't remember what the difference was.
Deluxe has gold foil on the box. Deluxe will be $69. Very nice. This will have the wooden components and wooden upgrade tokens. So would probably from 49 to 69 would probably just bump that up to the deluxe edition just to get all
Mhm.
of those nice wooden components. Get some card sleeves as well. Some animals. Look at those animal robots.
They do look kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't seem. I thought you were going to be a little more sold on this. I thought this
Oh,
felt like
yeah.
right up your alley.
I think it's the theme for me. I'm not the biggest fan of robots. So I
Yeah,
think that's probably why. And then it just Um, I just know that there are a couple kind of. I really liked Everyone Mars Ares Expedition, and I'm wondering if it might be too much like that, because you're kind of building out some cards, from my understanding. So you're kind of doing similar things, and then you're doing that um, mechanism that comes only from that and race for the galaxy and roll for the galaxy and whatnot. Um, but so I was wondering if maybe it'd feel a little bit too similar to that. Um,
yeah,
so
maybe.
I think that might be why, but I'm trying to remember. I think it's either this one or, like you said, the next one. If I was going to back one, I think it'd be one of those two.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that for you at least.
Mhm.
Probably myself as well. But yeah, shipping, usual shipping. Not too bad actually.
Mhm.
$13 for Zone One, USA, China, Hong Kong, Macau. But yeah, pretty good. We'll keep an eye out for this one. See how much people like it. But here
Yeah,
is the one that is totally Zach. Um, forget the theme park part doesn't really matter. You don't care about that, but spend your own theme park in this
expand your
tableau
business.
building.
There it
Work,
is.
worker placement and point salad Euro game for 1 to 5 players. I was like, oh my gosh, 3 strikes right there for a
Three
turkey.
strikes, it's in. Yeah, I I wasn't for some reason when I saw Wishland Dreams from America, I wasn't. I was like, oh, okay, it's probably good and whatnot. But yeah, as I started actually looking at it, I was like, this might actually be better than I thought. Because in my head, I was just thinking it might just be some, I don't know, later game or something that um, I don't know. You're maybe placing. I guess in my head, I was imagining like placing tiles out in a
Mm,
building your amusement park or something, theme
yeah,
park. Um, but yeah, I mean, it seems like it could be a good one that I
yeah.
would like.
$68,000,
See,
eleven
that's
hundred
another one.
points.
How's it not doing better? And this one hasn't. It's already been out, right?
Yeah, this is an expansion. I think the other one was like 2021 and earlier that was being released. So it's already out there, which I guess I don't know if that overly
That might.
helps
Yeah, maybe
or
it
maybe
hurts.
hurts it.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I guess I didn't look at what its board game geek rating was, but yeah, I mean, it sounded pretty good to me. So I'm kind of surprised that. But I guess yeah, if it's an expansion,
Yeah.
sometimes they do better than others, and you might also think, well, it's eventually going to come out in retail or something. I'd rather back something else on Kickstarter that may not come out. So
Yeah. Yep.
you might have that working against you too.
Yep. Yep. Worker placement, tableau building, point salad, set collection, end game bonus. Oh my goodness. Just
Doesn't
put
get
up
any
like
better than that.
the Vince McMahon meme of just the stages as he's falling back out of his chair. That's Zach right now
That
reading
is me.
this. Rated the #1 theme park board game by Tom Vassell. Here's the whole Dice Tower crew. Not
I was going to say that this must be the only game they play.
but yeah, I assume very positive quotes. I'll read them all. I don't think they put negative quotes on there. But
I would be pretty surprised if they did.
this game is trash. Tom Vassell. Still is #1.
I will admit it's the best theme park game, but it is still not great.
But yeah, pretty good, colorful artwork throughout. Lots of wooden tokens with the printing on them, and some coins. Which, yes,
I
you
was
can.
a I was a little confused because like there are some stretch goals and stuff about metal coins, but it's like, oh, two metal coins and a metal coin and a metal coin. And I'm like, what's going on here? I don't think I looked at it close enough to know how many metal or how many coins you need in the game, but I was like, and how many have been unlocked in the stretch goals, but I'm like, what are they giving you like a handful of metal coins, but you can
Just
back additional coins if you want? I,
that'd be nice. That wouldn't get any backlash. Yeah, I like that all these meeples are unique shapes too, instead
oh,
of
yeah.
just color. They actually have a unique design. Always love.
Mhm.
Which these are actually very unique
They are
designs.
unique.
I like them a lot. Very nice.
I like them too. It does give
Tokens.
you that theme park
Yeah.
brightness to it.
Yep.
It gives a very good look.
Yep. Kind of
I
the
think
whole
it fits
thing.
pretty well.
The board as well is another kind of like a very busy board, but I think it works with that theme.
Hmm.
That just wacky, wild time.
Hmm.
But yeah, it just reminds me kind of Dinosaur Island, Dinosaur World.
That's what I was thinking.
Building them out, get the people to work there, the rides, restaurants, different things like that, which I've always enjoyed that, where it really feels like you're building your park. And it looks like this one is going to provide that same feeling. So, kind of similar to you as I was going through this, it went from like, oh, that looks like a busy game to actually like, oh, this looks pretty interesting.
Hmm.
More tokens and some metal coins.
Ooh,
I
boy.
think those look like those could be some really nice chunky metal coins, just with the art design on them. I
Hmm. I
really
agree. And the numbers look very clear, which is sometimes a
yes,
problem, I think, in games. So
yes,
I do like that quite a bit. And they do look like maybe a token that you could use at a carnival or something. So I really like
yeah,
the look of those.
yep,
Um, so yeah, I think this whole package looks pretty good. Um, I might have to look into this one a little bit more, just to see, at least see base game and see.
yep. So
I
yeah,
feel like
for
just for some reason, yeah, I wasn't thinking that it was what it was as a game. So
yeah,
I might have to look at it more.
Yeah, so the base game plus the expansion would be about $64, which is again a lot of components in there, which would be very nice. I think very nice
Mhm.
price. Although that was that deluxe. That's two different editions, right? Already forgetting, even though I just went over it.
I think so.
Then the all-in is still under $100, which is
Mhm.
pretty crazy. I think
That is pretty
there's
crazy.
a lot of
Okay.
stuff there. But yeah, so this is probably the one that I'm most interested in out of these. If I
Yeah, I
were to
would
back
agree.
one, it would be this one, I think.
Yeah, and this is one that I could actually go out and see, look into a little bit more. That's always a nicer thing. I do like when they're going back, and I guess in this case you can get the base game and stuff too, but I like when they actually bring out new expansions and stuff to a game
Yeah,
that's already out there and you can kind of dig into, and maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's easy to get right now. I have no idea if it's this one's hard to get or if it's easy to get. The base game at least.
yeah,
So I do like that, and then kind of introduces new people to the game potentially too. So
yep,
yeah, I'm gonna be looking into this one some more for sure.
yes, yes.
And I've got a week to figure it out.
A whole week and one day as it was filming.
Yes. Last but not least, we've got Apex Legends TM, the board game. Apex Legends TM board game, highly strategic team versus team miniature board game for 1 to 6 players, includes solo and co-op. Um, so I'm starting to wonder too, because I think this is based off of a video game as well. Uh, can you run a large kind of big box game anymore without having a IP attached to it?
I don't know. They seem to be taking over. It used to be like, oh, maybe, oh wow, an IP based on this. No, they're all over the place.
They are. And yeah, I don't know either of these IPs, so I have no history with them, but I could see how that would be, if I did play either of these, that would probably have me more interested. So that probably doesn't help with this one either because I've
Yeah,
never played this. But yeah, this one's at about 500,000 as well.
it
Has
might
almost
cross it as
3,000
we
backers.
speak.
It might. And this one's got 2 weeks to go, so it's got a little bit more time than the rest.
Yeah,
I think it's doing decently well. But yeah, and then I don't know, it brings into question like, okay, that other one, Monster Hunter, that, twice this, and maybe it's I not knowing the IPs, I don't know which one's more popular.
yeah. I
But
had
I'm surprised
heard.
because Dice Tower did a playthrough of this one like on the first day, I think, or one of the
Yeah,
first days. And usually that, I don't know, I feel like their influence kind of gives things a little bit more of a pop potentially.
yeah, yep,
So it's just a little
yeah.
surprising to me
That
that
is interesting because I had never heard of Monster Hunter. I had heard quite a bit about Apex, but I'm a fan of PUBG, and this is kind of similar to that, and like a first-person shooter type game. So obviously, I'd hear more about this than Monster Hunter, but I would have said this would be the more popular and probably more successful game. But maybe the other one lends itself more to a kind of board game adaptation than this.
that's true.
Um, but yeah, I've just first off, I really like this kind of look. It gives me feels of Sniper Elite, but if it was three-dimensional board,
3D.
which is just a really cool idea, something I didn't know that I wanted until I just saw it now. I'm like, oh, I'd really like to move around on that board.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not sold on it.
I'm
Come on,
not sold on the
that,
3D, even
that
though
is
it
just
is an interesting hook.
it's cool.
So I don't know. I mean, outside of miniatures and stuff, I don't know that many have 3D elements to them.
Yeah,
There's some, I think, but not a ton, I don't think. And yeah, I don't know. This one's another one that it looks like it's got a lot of stuff. It looks good enough, but I don't know that it's got anything that's got me like, oh yes, definitely need this. Makes me for some reason I'm thinking of Project Elite. So
yeah,
maybe I could be totally wrong about it because when you had gotten Project Elite, I was like,
You're like,
oh
oh
God,
my.
Pepper, what is this? But then it, just like Wishland, my thinking of what it was and what it actually was, two totally different things.
Yeah.
And I do like Project Elite quite a bit. So maybe I could like this one. I don't think that I would probably back it. It
Mhm.
doesn't have me totally excited, but maybe you're more excited than I am.
I'm definitely more interested than you are, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, probably won't back it. We're trying to control ourselves here. Doesn't mean we're not interested. We still love you, games.
Right.
Yeah, this is it. It does. It seems like something that I could really like, kind of with just
Mhm.
unique characters and different upgrades throughout the game. Um, but still, I don't know if it will kind of deliver that kind of video game shooting battle royal type experience
Mhm.
to where I'd play this over one of those video games. Because
Right.
I think that's what I'd be looking for in this. I don't know. I'll
Mhm.
have to see, probably look into it more and see if it does deliver that or something actually worth pulling the trigger.
That's
Um,
true. I mean, you could probably watch that playthrough,
yeah.
uh,
Uh,
actually get a feel for it. I didn't end up watching that playthrough, but I know they did do one. But yeah, I mean, if someone knew how to play this and they were looking for players, I would definitely try it out. Uh,
yeah.
1380,
Oh my goodness. For
what is
the
that?
legendary bundle, 6 times solo all-in pledges with a 10% discount.
Oh, is that just like is that like a group pledge or what?
Not sure exactly what it is,
That must be a group
but
pledge.
but I'm
I don't know
tempted.
why you'd need 6 versions of the game. 6 copies, I should say. You could
Um,
need 6 versions if it's like Abyss and it's got different covers.
yes, there you go. Uh, yeah, just base pledge, $87. It's typical getting expensive Kickstarter, but I do feel like with this one, I would probably want more from it with additional characters, which I assume are
Mhm.
included in expansions. So that's the dangerous part, to where it's like, what do you choose to add on and what don't you?
All right.
Because it's like, am I going to know which characters will be the better ones and the worst ones and more fun? To where I
Mhm.
probably just have to go into as high a pledge as I can possibly afford for a
Yeah,
game that I do not know if I will enjoy.
right. See, that's the thing that makes it so tough
I didn't like this one.
is yeah, just it becomes so tempting to get all that expansion content, but it's from my understanding a game that hasn't proven anything yet. Um, Maybe you absolutely love it, be your favorite game, could be the case. Uh, but then if you don't love it, you've got 8 boxes there,
Yep.
and I'm guessing 6 of them didn't get used, which is it's tough. I
And
know I have games that I actually do like a lot, and not everything gets used. So that's
yeah,
the tough part. I'm like, well, now if I get a game that I don't like, if I'm not even doing all the content of the games I do like, what makes me
yeah,
think that that's going to happen?
yeah.
Uh,
What do you
so
think of these card holders, which are kind of like a diorama for your miniature as well, that they can sit in and create a little scene, but also hold your cards?
eh, it's interesting. I guess it depends.
Are they ever
If
in
it
there?
adds to the cost of the game, I would rather not have it than have it. I don't
That's
think
true.
it's cool enough that I'm like, well, if it's adding $10 to the game, the cost or something like, I have no idea what it. Maybe it doesn't add anything. I have no idea. But if it's adding any significant cost to the game, I would just be like, I'm good. I
That
don't
is
need to
pretty
make
cool.
the games more, but it does look cool.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
definitely looks cool.
Yep. Got some nice scenery. Uh, Tons of wooden components with different effects.
Hmm.
Which just is like, oh, I hope storage is good on this. Looks like they have custom trays, but I hope that they fit
Doesn't
in there and
always
there's a
mean
cover.
custom trades doesn't always mean
No.
badly.
It's like, oh, this goes on top, and then there's an open like inch of air, and then everything comes
Hmm.
loose.
Right.
Hopefully that's not a problem, but
Mhm.
I do always worry. So it's like, okay, I'll just bag these and forget about the insert.
Right.
Yeah, really, really cool looking. That's very satisfying to
Mhm.
get those blocks. It just
That
makes me
just
feel like a kid again because I'm definitely a very grown up man, not childish in any way.
right.
Yeah,
Um,
this is
yeah. That, the only thing to me with that, it does look cool, but it also looks like okay, now the setup's going to take longer because I've got to get this set up
it's
in
true.
this way every time.
It's true.
But
Maybe I mean
it gives you the 3D element. So it
it's
could be
somewhat
cool.
modular. Maybe you can just create whatever you want. Who knows?
You could just use random cardboard boxes and go around the floor.
Like just play it anywhere, literally anywhere.
I feel like I've been extra sassy today on these bigger box games, but it's nothing
Being
against these two
prepared.
personally. I'm sure they're good games.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Oh my goodness, I don't care. I want this. This even something you can get?
well, you
I want
get it
this.
if you back that six pledge
There we go.
master edition. Or however much that was. What was it? $1,000.
Yeah, 1600,
Then we'll
1800.
throw in a little Loch Ness monster stuff.
That's a sixth of a Loch Ness Monster plushie. And shipping, of course, going to be getting decently expensive.
Mhm.
25 euros, well, like 30 bucks, which is a good chunk. Again, probably not going to buy this one just yet. Would like to try it, as with all of these, but
Mhm. I think
probably
what's
not.
tough is I like another one I didn't think I was gonna like Cthulhu Death May Die
Oh,
so
yeah.
much, and that one it kind of feels similar to some of these. I mean, it's not the same as this game or the other one or whatever, but it just feels like it's got a similar thing, and I just like that one so much, and it's it can I think it can take a little bit of time setting up and stuff still, but I kind of know that, and it's like
Yeah,
I the top 10 game to me. Is it worth going and exploring these new ones that have to at least, in my mind, if I'm going to put the effort into playing this, has to top it.
yeah,
And they
that's the
could.
thing. Yep.
It's just tough.
Just like all that effort to like just fall a little short or maybe just meet it, then was it even worth it? Um, yeah, when they do feel very similar, which I'm sure they're very different. But
Mhm.
yeah, it is always hard once you do have so many. Like I said, it's like it just takes more and more to actually warrant going and getting these games.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so maybe we'll get one or maybe two of these. Maybe just one.
Maybe.
But then yeah,
We'll
if
have to look into it some more.
Michaela's interested in this one, I feel like at least one of these will be entering the collection at some point.
I can see that.
Like likely Wishland, Botany, or the robots.
I would agree. Because, yeah, I think the thing too is the big games, uh, just realizing I don't think Michaela is going to be into many of the big ones,
She's
which
not
makes it a little
into
tougher.
Leviathan. Oh, well, that one's actually not that big. She's not
Yeah,
into
that's okay.
Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the board game.
I don't think so.
She doesn't
I
play
don't.
that video game all the time behind your
I
back.
think I think she'd probably rather play just do D&D or something. But yeah, so yeah, I think these all look pretty good. I think they're going to be for their certain crowds that are looking for something like that, or not possibly. But yeah, like you said, I could see one of them entering the collection at some point,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe we'll get a chance to play some of the other ones at some point. I like how every one of these we say, hopefully at
Yeah.
some convention, some point.
At
I mean,
some
we're
point.
gonna have a list of about 100 games that
Just Santa.
we've
It's
got to
like
play.
Santa's list. Just huge.
So if anyone owns all these Kickstarters backing them all, let us know if you need some people to play with.
Yeah. If you
Uh,
just live like down the street from one of us.
right. But yeah, so that those are the projects for this week. Let us know in the comments below if you're backing any of these, or if you've, I guess, maybe if
Yeah.
you've played Wishland, what you think of it. So we can see if it's actually as good as the Dice Tower says, or if they're the only ones that like it. They might be.
Yes.
Who knows? But otherwise, I hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that content.